Okay, sixth installment, still here, walking along the movie theater with all these flies flying around. So summer 2019, I played Atlantic City, mostly a little Maryland mixed in, and then I had to go back to Nebraska, do something with my apartment, went down to Oklahoma for like the final 28 days, I think. 28 days that I was able to be out of town before law school started again. And just like in all the others, a great start to Oklahoma. I was looking, new place, new scenery. It's fresh, feel like playing a ton, and I could control how much I'm playing, how much I want to play. I was motivated, but if the results aren't there, it could be the difference between like averaging 6.5 hours a day versus like 9.5 hours a day, and that will add up. So I wanted things to be going so well that I could play a ton, and that's what happened. It was actually a little lukewarm in Oklahoma, but still very, very good. Here are the stats.
So let's get to the stats, and it's actually funny how bad the stretch is going to sound compared to the others. And yeah, an Easter background, same thing as 2 videos ago. Took a picture of this Aria Easter display and never got a chance to use it as a thumbnail, so I'm using it now. But here we go, first 7 full days later in 2019 when I went down to WinStar. So first thing you're going to notice is the stakes. They have 1-2, they have 1-3, they have 2-5, they have 5-5. So I would often switch between 1-2 and 1-3, especially if one was getting short. You can easily go to a full game in the other stake. You're not switching tables, you're changing stakes, you're changing games. So you're just a new player, and I can leave a 5-handed 1-3 table and fill in a 9-handed 1-2 table. So I did that a lot and occasionally played 2-5 while I was waiting. Anyway, was actually not a good start. First 3 days right here. Only losses, only managed to get about 20 hours in the first 3 days, but day 4 was solid, kept at it. All these rows are day 4, so I was switching back and forth between 1-2 and 1-3, and made $1,102 on this 4th day. That kind of jump-started things, and eventually was able to make $1,800 in the first week, the first full 7 days in Oklahoma, which sounds bad compared to the start in Atlantic City, which was over $6,000 compared to the MGM National Harbor starts. But $1,800 is still a very solid start, still very solid for 1 week of poker. And I was able to average, even though the money wasn't great, especially at the beginning, I was able to average 9 hours, and 0.65 is another 39 minutes. 9 hours and 39 minutes per day for a week. Those are very good numbers. $1,800 in a week, and an average of 9 hours, 39 minutes per day for 1 week of poker, even though this might be the worst of all 6 videos in this mini-series so far. Still very, very solid. Second half of the summer, went down to Oklahoma, wanted a lot of hours, and I was getting it.
It wasn't just the start. All of Oklahoma was very good, very consistent, very high hourly. I think I averaged 9 hours, 48 minutes. I'll put the exact number on the bottom. It was like, I think 9 hours, 48 minutes per day for like 26 days. Most days I played until like 5:45 a.m. And then the motel I was staying at down the interstate had a breakfast that started at 6. So most days I would play till like 5:45, get back, eat that breakfast. I remember there was a waffle maker. You can make waffles in the shape of Texas. The poker was in Oklahoma, the motel was in Texas. Everything's right on the border. So yeah, games stayed good. I think one day I totally missed breakfast. The game went till like 8:30 or something. But most days it stayed solid until like 5:30, started dying down a little. I stayed for like the last half hour so that I would drive back and get back to the motel right when breakfast started. But yeah, very consistent games, very good games, even switching back and forth a lot between 1-2 and 1-3. 1-2 definitely played smaller, but it was still social, it was still fun. And it's not like, you know, the small games in Vegas. It was definitely smaller 1-2 than 1-3 in WinStar, but even though the max buy-in was 200, it was like people sitting with 100, with 125, with 150 would like hit top pair, no kicker, and get all in. The games were still great. You were still picking up like 100 all over the place every time you flopped a strong hand. So the games were still very good, even though there were a bunch of stakes, and I wasn't quite used to that. But it was very good, especially the start. And I was looking to play a ton of hours, and I did. Played about 10 hours a day for about a month.
And remember, rice is a spoon food.